All right, welcome to another episode of the Heaven of Rock podcast. My name is Kevin, and I help musicians improve their musicianship and lifestyle. Wow, where have I been? This is the first episode in 2026, and it's the first episode in about 4 years, which is pretty crazy. Why have I put this podcast on pause for 4 years? Well, honestly, there are a lot of things that I can think of. For one, when I started this podcast, I also started posting my guitar and music content up on Instagram, and then I ended up getting opportunities to go on tour and play with other bands, and I also started focusing more on my YouTube channel as well as other projects. So in all honesty, this podcast was kind of left on the back burner, so to speak. But now it's back, and my goal is, and I'm saying this because I want to keep myself accountable, my goal is to be continuing this podcast for at least until 2028. And nevertheless, I have gathered experience. I have gathered just really a couple of other things that are gonna bring you value if you are a musician that is starting to, get your foot on the pedal, so to say, right? I'm definitely gonna have experiences that are gonna give you value and that will hopefully inspire you. So with that being said, I'm very excited to talk about this topic. This topic really hits home. The topic for today, it's going to be how to get over stage fright. Listen, right, if you think about a stage fright, what is a stage fright really about? Like if you go one layer deeper, because it's all about psychology, okay? So if you go one layer deeper, a stage fright is essentially self-acceptance. What I mean by that, I mean fear of self-acceptance or judgment, so to say. Basically, when you are going up on stage, right, chances are that if you are afraid to play in front of people, to get up and sing in front of people, chances are that you're probably afraid to speak your mind in a crowd. Or if you have a group of friends, right, and everybody's quiet, and all of a sudden, sometimes you will probably hesitate to be the first one to speak up. If let's say that if you are in a group of people and everybody is doing something silly and all of a sudden it's your turn, sometimes you're probably going to hesitate to do something silly. Or for example, let's say that something happens in public and then you have to be the one that speaks out. It can be, I don't know, like someone just doing something inappropriate or whatever, and essentially somebody in the crowd has to call that person out. Okay, chances are you might probably hesitate doing that because you are afraid of being seen. And by that means you are afraid of showing your authenticity or showing your genuine feeling or truth for that specific moment in time. So that is what happened. That was the case with me. When I was I still have a stage fright to this day, but it's very little. It's very little. And the way how I thought about this is I started getting out of my comfort zone and trying to face my fears and other things. By that I mean I went out in public and I tried to compliment a stranger who was wearing something that I liked, or I tried to strike up a conversation with a person that I didn't know. What does that have to do with stage fright? Well, essentially, I'm making myself seen by other people. I'm interacting with other people. I'm letting them know what I think. I'm making an interaction so that the other person is subconsciously aware that I exist. And all of a sudden, I'm making myself uncomfortable because I am talking with someone else that I didn't know. I am putting my feelings out there. I'm putting my truth out there for whatever that moment is. Another example is, let's say that I'm together with a couple of friends of mine, and there is a controversial topic that comes up, and everybody stays quiet. So I would be the one to speak up and say, well, I think it's X, Y, and Z. Okay, and obviously there are going to be some people upset because not everybody's going to agree with what I'm going to say, and that's okay, that's perfect. Because I just took a stance, and for one, I stood up for what I believe in. Two, I took a stance, and I let my voice be seen. Okay, so that's like number one. You have to face your fear. You have to get uncomfortable, so putting yourself out there. Okay, number two, you have to accept yourself for who you are, right? And by that, I don't mean, okay, my name is Mike and I like strawberries and horses. Okay, what I mean is you have to accept your flaws. You have to accept the parts that you like about yourself just as much as the parts that you don't like about yourself. Because if you were to take into account, okay, there's only one you. For instance, when I was, I think when I was younger, I was not confident because I always compare myself to other rock stars that I wanted to be like. And I thought to myself, well, if I could only be 6 foot tall, if I could only be a lighter in skin color, if I could only have better hair, or if I could only have this, if I could have this features, whatever. And then years later, I thought to myself, well, I'm stuck with myself. There is only one Kevin. There is no other person like myself who has the same DNA makeup, who has the same personality, characteristics, defects, and whatever. So I thought to myself that it is pretty lucky that I have the chance to be alive, that I have the chance to be able to do what I like, whether that is playing guitar in my room or playing guitar in front of other people. I have the chance to do what I like. I have the ability to basically see, smell, taste. I have been given the privilege to exist. And when I thought about that specific gratitude about being alive, it really shifted things into a different perspective. All of a sudden, I was grateful for my existence. I was grateful for my flaws, right? I was grateful for, let me give you an example. I'm insecure about my accent. I'm insecure about my height. Well, I was insecure about those things. I'm not insecure about them anymore, but I started feeling gratitude for the things that I didn't like about myself then, and just as much as the things that I loved about myself. And then that really ended up being a game changer for me. So that's number 2, right? Accept yourself for who you are, the flaws and the parts that you like about yourself. And then number 3 is what psychologists would call exposure therapy, which means if you have a stage fright, then guess what? You're going to have to go and you're going to have to sign up for as many open mics as you can. You have to put yourself out there more. You have to speak up your mind. You have to get yourself in uncomfortable situations so that you learn to put yourself in these environments. And because you do it on a consistent basis, it's going to teach your brain to be comfortable with that specific environment. And once you end up putting your reps, once you end up getting out there, once you end up playing in a lot of open mics, once you end up putting yourself in this type of spaces where it requires you to be in front of the stage, your brain will adapt and your brain will learn to recognize that playing in front of other people, being in front of other people, speaking in front of other people is natural and is part of who you are. And by that time, you have overcome stage fright. That's how I did it personally. I remember about a year and a half ago, yes, I could play with a band, right? I could play guitar with a band, but if you think about it, I was hiding behind my instrument. I was always like strumming, and if I was playing a song that I really liked, yes, I could basically look at the crowd and experience everyone else's energy. But when I wanted to learn how to sing, it's a different experience. It's a different ballgame. Singing is very vulnerable. It's a vulnerable activity because not only, for those of you that are writers out there, not only are you singing using your own mouth, using your own words, right? But you are also sharing in a specific part about your moment in time if you choose to write songs about your personal life. So singing can be intimidating on its own. Okay, so that was the case for me. I didn't really write my own songs lyrically. I'm not a lyricist. I'm more of a instrumentalist type of thing. But I wanted to play covers, right? I wanted to sing. I wanted to play acoustic covers, and it required me to sing in front of other people. That required me to use my voice. That required me to project certain choruses that had emotion in the songs that I was singing. And honestly, in the beginning, it was very uncomfortable, super uncomfortable. Okay, then eventually, obviously, that's exactly what I did. I started putting myself in front of this open mics every single week. And by now, when I go up to the stage, I don't feel afraid to go up, and I don't have a stage fright anymore. I might have stage fright just a little bit, but as soon as I put on, right, as soon as I take my guitar, or as soon as I have the mic close to me and I start singing a song, it all goes away, and all I can say is I am focused in sharing my passion for that specific piece that I'm singing. Okay, and that's actually another tip. Number 4 would be focus on expressing your passion for what it is that you are performing, because at the end of the line, you are up there on stage to perform in front of other people, to showcase your art in front of other people, to show the world what you are passionate about. So think about those things. And that does it for today's episode. Once again, thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. And if you enjoyed this episode, then subscribe and comment what you'd like to see. And sunshines are rainbows, kiss babies, make love not war, all that kind of thing. And I will see you in the near future.